Well, I mean, hey, they got a rapper in it. All right, Paul, we should be live on there.
All right, let me peep. Let me see what I got here. Let me see.
All righty.
Yep, we are good to go, but I can't share it.
We'll get it later.
No, I'm share. I got this. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, technology, they don't like us. All this new the metaverse and all.
I think, is it possible that like we're getting too old for this shit? Like, think about that. Like, we're outdating ourselves right now. Like, just for like the young boys.
Being frank, I wouldn't be on social media if I wasn't trying to, do any type of business or anything. I wouldn't even be on here because I really don't care what people do or say anymore. But yeah, I mean, maybe they don't like us. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we're live. We're about to do the podcast here. So let's get it going. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
We got my man Drew back. Makes it hype. Makes it happy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stoop Life Podcast. Now, today, we got our man back in the studio, Mr. Drew. Welcome back, man. It's always good to have you on here.
Appreciate you guys. Try to be on as much as possible whenever the schedule lets me.
Yeah, I've been there, brother. Here. When you come on, we know what we're talking about. So, I mean, guys, pretty clear what we're going to be talking about today. Actually, it's probably not because everybody's probably saying they're worried about LeBron right now. He's about to be on TV, which is great. We're going to talk about that. It's not today. We got Super Bowl coming up. We're going to talk about that too. Just it's not today. Today, I'm not even going to give y'all an intro. I'm going to do a video here. So I'm going to tune into the video. Give me a second. I forgot to put it up. All right. So I got the video coming up here. We're just going to watch the video here. So tune in.
Nice.
All right, guys. I mean, I wasn't gonna play the whole video there, but it was getting me hyped, especially when Volk hit him with that.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to throw hands now.
Listen, bald men win. Bald men win. That's all I'm gonna say. Bald men win.
Bald man wins.
Like, I want to say one thing before we get into this. Dana White did a terrible job at promoting this fight.
Horrible.
He does pretty good, but like, I mean, is it because it's a Russian and an Australian? There's no American in it, or they're little? I don't get it. You got the number 1 pound for pound Volkanovski and number 2 Islam Makhachev going up against each other. Like, imagine if that was like McGregor and somebody or Silva and somebody, whatever.
Yeah.
You would have seen this on every single channel, every ad. They didn't promote it at all. I think we're doing more promotion for the fight right now than we did the whole time. But, I mean, we're going to leave it at that. We already know, like, these guys are phenomenal. Alexander Volkanovski is my favorite fighter in the UFC right now. I think Islam Makhachev is probably the best fighter, in my opinion. Maybe. Well, we'll break down a little bit here.
Possibly.
I mean, we got a hell of a fight here. So I don't know where we want to start off with this, except the fact that if Islam Volkanovski, if he wins this fight, he'll be the first fighter ever to beat 2 fighters back to back on 10+ win streaks. Now, Drew, I don't know if you think that. I don't know, man. Like, I think that's pretty like phenomenal, especially the talent he's beating against. So, I mean, we're gonna let you start off with your takes here, Drew.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. So I know you'd be crushing it with the stats. So that's cool to hear that because I actually didn't know that. But these are actually 2 guys that I wasn't necessarily like a hater, but I just was like, okay, I think people think they're better than what they really are. And I was wrong on that because Volk is obviously I think is pound for pound right now currently. Obviously, when John Jones comes back and if he does work, he's going to be pound for pound number 1 right off the jump. Yeah. But for now, I think it's Volk. Islam, I think it's too early to put him at number 2. I think he is at number 2 right now. I think it's a little too early for that. But obviously, if he beats Volk, he should be number 1 until obviously whatever transpires after that. But for Volkanovski, when he first came in and he was beating guys, I was like, he's good. Don't get me wrong. But then he went up against Chad Mendes, and I was huge on Chad Mendes. So I was like, Chad Mendes is going to stop him. It was actually the opposite. Volkanovski stopped Chad Mendes. So I was like, okay, this guy's good, but no way he beats Max Holloway. Beats him the first time. It was close. I was biased because Holloway's one of my favorite guys. So I was like, I think Holloway won that. They fight again. Second time was even closer, and I thought for sure Holloway won the second one. And then the third one, obviously, Volk just pieced him up. And at that point, I was like, I can't be a hater anymore. Because at that point, I think I was becoming a hater. But I was like, I can't be a hater. I'm going to give this guy his dues. And now I see him in like interviews now. And I just think he's like the most humble champion, too, which I love about him. He's never like, oh, I'm the man or blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it. So I like that a lot about him. And now it's. For me, though, this is my issue. I feel like Islam is kind of like how I viewed Volk back in the day. So now I'm kind of like, not a hater, but I'm on the Volk train. I said it in our previous podcast. I think he's going to beat him. We'll get into more detail about that. But I just think Volk's the man. He's just getting better and better. Islam has too, don't get me wrong. But it's one of those fights where I just have a feeling Volkanovski's gonna beat Islam, and I think he's gonna catch him. I think he's gonna catch him.
Volk. I understand what you're saying there about the respect for Volk. When Volk first came into the UFC, I liked him a lot because I saw him. I forget what the first couple fights he fought, but I was like, same thing. I was like, who's this? This guy's like a little midget, but I was like, damn, his legs were huge. I was like, damn, this guy. It reminded me of Ben Henderson. When Ben Henderson fought and he had them legs, they were like, wow.
Yeah.
So I remember I did some research on him. I seen he was a rugby player. And I remember in our group chat I have, and I said, yo, this dude is going to be champion. Mark my words, this guy's going to be champion. Like, he's small. People are going to underestimate him, and he's going to kick the shit out of people. And that's what he does. So I agree. And as for Islam being under, I see where you're coming from. The only reason I'm not like that is because he's from Khabib's train.
Yeah.
If he wasn't from Khabib's train, or let's say he was from Minnesota, I'd be like, I'm like, all right, like I get it.
Why not New Mexico?
Well, Paul, what do you think about that? What do you think about the take on these guys in this fight?
I was like you guys, like I wasn't a huge fan of Volk at first until I seen him piece up Jose Aldo. And I kind of was a little bit impressed, a little bit, maybe because it was the older Jose. I wasn't so like sold on him quite yet. Then he went in there and just went to town on everybody else. And I do like how humble he is. he might be the greatest guy fighter at 145 at this point. I mean, he might have passed Max at this point. I was very, very biased when it came to the Max fight. Like, I was a huge Max Holloway fan. I'm still am. And seeing him beat my guy twice, I was a little bitter. So, but the third time he shut me up. Now, I mean, Islam, Bob, I'm still not 100% sold on Islam. I gotta see. I do like what he did to Charles. A guy I raved about too. A guy who got it out the mud himself. But I think this fight, I don't know how to fully take it because it's a guy from 145 moving up to 155. So it's not like Volk has nothing to lose, just gain. Islam has everything in the world to lose. I'm going to lose to the guy, a smaller guy than me. I'm going to lose my pound for pound talk. He has everything to lose. So I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be a fun fight. Islam's a strong motherfucker, man. He comes out of that Khabib camp where they're strong. They literally wrestle bears for a living sometimes.
That's the one thing everybody's been talking about Islam too. They're like, I mean, he's been taking that vitamins since he was a kid.
Yeah,
he's strong.
He's strong, motherfucker. But Volk, man,
he's
Volk.
strong, bro. People forget. Rugby player. He used to be a bigger dude. I don't know what he actually weighed. I mean, he can't really weigh that much being 5'3", but I mean.
Well, fun fact. Before we get into it, fun fact: when he was a rugby player, guess how much he weighed? He weighed 210.
200, yeah, 200. I was reading that. He's 200 pounds.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Did you see the picture of him?
Yeah.
How big he was! Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I like his mentality. Volk, like I said, he's my favorite player. The crazy thing I want to point out too is like most of the fighters that Volk has fought were bigger than him.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much. I'm talking like 5'10", 5'11", the size of Islam. So, like, that's not going to be anything new to him.
It's the strength. It's the strength aspect. That's what we have to worry about.
Volk is used to people coming towards him.
Yeah.
Islam is going to try and take him down. Crazy stat here, too. Volkanovski has never been taken down other than a guy named Ortega. So, it's like, so when you look at his stats are real nice. He got great takedown defense. I think his stats actually do apply for him because I think he's people don't really try to take him down because he kicks a lot. So, like,
and like kick is like a fucking jab.
This is what I was getting to though. Like the one point people don't take him down a lot is because believe it or not, Volkanovski actually has a bigger reach than Islam.
No, I can see that. Islam doesn't have long arms like they're.
No, like
I can see that.
He has shorter legs than him, but he has longer arms.
Yeah.
So he has the reach to keep you away, and then when you come in, he got that short legs where he's gonna just knee you.
He's built like a fucking gorilla. We know we established this.
Yeah. Before we get into the breakdown of this fight, though, I'm actually very disappointed these guys are fighting because Islam's on an 11-fight win streak in the UFC. I'm 11-0 with him, and Volk is 12-0 in the UFC. I'm 12-0 with him. So I'm very disappointed because I gotta either take a win or a loss on whoever I got here. These are two of my coat riders. Like I win money off these guys. Now they're fighting each other, and it's like, wow, I'm very mixed on these fights. So Drew, I'll let you start. What do you think is going to be the biggest factor for Volkanovski to beat Islam in this fight?
That's a good question. This one's such a tough one because I see it going one of two ways. I did say Volk is going to win, but if Islam does win, I think it's going to be early. And I think he's going to get the takedown, obviously, and then work into a submission on Volk, or it's just going to be ground and pound where he can't get out of it. But I think the later the fight goes, I think Volkanovski's proven that his cardio is real good. Now he's putting on some muscle, though, so it might affect his cardio a little bit, but I don't see that with Volk because he's proven. He's been going through so many 5-round fights that like I just think he's just conditioned for a 5-round fight now, and he's been in a bunch of decisions now, especially recently, except for that I think it was a 4th-round TKO on the Korean Zombie. I could be wrong, but I think his cardio is going to be a huge thing, especially for stuffing those takedowns too. That's a big thing. And then if he's stuffing those takedowns, it might tire out Islam. Yeah. But I don't think Islam's ever been a full 5 rounds yet. I don't think he had. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has. I think he's just finished people so quick that maybe cardio could be an issue. But at the same time, he's a Dagestani guy where they live up in the mountains, so it might not be an issue.
That is a question. You never know. Like, it's a different fight. You're going to someone's home territory. Like, Volk is going to go 5. Volk can go 10. Like, I mean, you see his previous fights, he can go 10. He don't want to go that far. He wants to knock you out.
Exactly.
But, I mean, Islam, you know, like you were just saying, he has to stop the takedown. It's exhausting when you try to take a guy down, you don't take him down. Especially when you're like a guy like Islam. So
I agree.
Question mark there.
Yeah.
So, Paul, I want to ask you the same question. What is the X factor for Islam to win this fight?
Get him down to the ground as quick as possible. Do not go into a war with him with Volk. Meaning, don't stand up and think you're just gonna slug. Volk's not that type of fighter. He's actually very technically sound when he's up top.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, he does have a boxing background as well. So them leg kicks, he's gonna break you down. So get him down as fast as possible, because once Volk gets started, he ain't stopping. He's gonna pick you apart. He's gonna make you break down. I don't, like you were saying, I don't think I've seen Islam go 5. So this might be new to him, and I'm sure this is a champion versus a champion, and this is a reigning champion versus a new champion. So we're about to see there's levels to this shit. So I think for me, Islam gotta get him down, gotta ground and pound him, grind him out, do what he gotta do. Volk just gotta piece his ass up, because he won't last 3 rounds if he does.
Yeah.
Remember, Islam has been stopped before.
Once.
Yeah.
Stopped once. He got knocked out. So the last 5 fights Islam was in, he actually went to the 4th round, and then he submitted Moses.
Yeah.
Submission round 2, KO round 1, submission round 1, submission round 3. Now, I don't really give him that much credit. I don't really think he's beating great guys.
Nah.
I mean, he was the downfall of Dan Hooker. He beat Dan Hooker, and then Dan Hooker went downhill. Was that like, was he was already on the verge of it? Charles win was a great win. But then again,
that was the best win of his career, of course.
I want to point this out though. Where was that fight? That was a big factor on
Abu Dhabi, right?
It was in Abu Dhabi. He was in a homeland country where he was fighting. That's a big factor. Who's fighting in it this time? We got Volk. So my X factors are this: the crowd, homeland, and people aren't talking about it yet. It ain't that easy. It's easier to win the title than it is to defend the title.
Yeah.
So Islam never defended the title yet. This is his first title defense. Volk been here, done that. You know,
exactly.
So I think we gotta remember Khabib's not going to be in that corner for Islam. How's that affect him when it comes to that championship fight? I think it could be a big thing, because like Islam and Khabib, the difference between them, I think, is their mentality and their fight. I feel like you can get Islam a little bit off train a little bit when you do some things. I've seen it in a couple of his fights. The Moses fight, he did it where he went off script and they had to redirect him because he was trying to stand up. When they're like, dude, just take him down. He did it in the Dover fight. I mean, if you try to stand up and not take down Volk, he's probably one of the most active throwers in the UFC, especially in these divisions. So I think that's an X factor. So while we're talking about striking. So who has the edge in striking here? Who do you think?
Volk. I got Volk.
I got Volk too. Especially after Max Holloway 3, where he outboxed Holloway. That was crazy. That was when I was like, all right, this dude's getting better and better. Yeah. And he stays busy though too. And what I like about him as a champion is he stays busy. He's not one of those, I'll fight once a year. He fights at least 2-3 times a year.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I think Volk easily has the striking, but then again, like, I think a lot of people are underestimating Islam. But that's
he has knockout power.
He has knockout power, but how much, like, in this type of fight, do you guys think? Like, I think a lot of Islam's, it's kind of like Khabib. He's a little better than Khabib's stand-up though, but he still has that takedown. So a lot of his striking comes from
set up a takedown.
Yep.
So that's why I'm curious. Like, if he starts round 1, like let's say like Conor did, and you try to throw, Khabib, he was throwing. I think that'd be a bad idea for him to start the striking. But then again, like if he gets a takedown in round 1, might open up a lot of striking on Volkanovski. I mean, we haven't really seen Volkanovski get pieced up a lot though. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't throw a lot of kicks though.
Yeah.
Of Islam, which I think I'm always against. I think you need to throw kicks in these guys get so good that like there's no difference. Like you got to throw them off. So I mean, do you guys expect any different strike approach from Islam in this, or do you think he's just going to try and go ground?
I think he's going to be more patient, honestly, because he knows Volk is a technician. I think he's going to go in there and pick his shoots. Of course, he's going to throw to set up a takedown. So you can't stand in there and square up with Volk. So he has to work his way down. Pause. He has to work his way to get you to the ground. And we see how Volk is in Octagon. He does move a lot. He's not a guy he's not a guy that's going to sit there and throw. He's going to be a moving target as well. So I think Islam just has to be a lot more patient and just think it's a marathon, not a sprint. We got to break him down slowly.
It's true.
Take the same approach that he did, that Ortega did, but be better at it.
That's all I was going to bring up for Drew. So Ortega took Volk down. He had 2 submissions in him. He didn't get them. Now, I don't know if I credit that the lack of skill, even though I know Ortega's a double-degree black belt. Volkanovski got out 2 chokes, though. Like 2 things. Which I don't think anyone else in the whole world is getting out of that. The dude just kept gargling his throat. It was
Crazy.
I mean,
that was net. I don't know how he got out of it.
You like twitching.
I mean, I saw an interview with him. He said he acted like he gargled, and then he just let his body go limp. So when he gargled and let his body go limp, I don't know, I guess it's like when they tell you go limp, you're about to hit a car crash or something. I don't know. Your body loosens up and you're able to move. That's how he got out of it. Now he trains himself to do this type of shit. I don't know. I'm curious to see if it comes into play again.
Man, that's some Shaolin monk shit right there. That's what that is. Let me gargle real quick.
I mean, hey,
fuck.
People probably imagine how many people in this camp probably made fun of him for doing stuff like that.
But it worked.
He retained his title because of doing shit like that. So I mean, we're talking about subs here. Islam has 10 submission wins. He just submitted one of the best submission guys in UFC history, in the whole era. Now, Drew, do you think if Islam gets one of them chokes or arm bars into Volk, you think he's getting out of that? Any possibility at all?
Well, before we talk about that, real quick, your keys to victory for Islam, I think, is exactly right. I think you nailed it, Bobby, when you were saying, I think for Islam, takedowns early, and then if you can sub them, which I'll get to in a second, obviously go for the sub quickly. But then, say if it does go back to your feet, now Volk is worried about those takedowns the whole time, and then it's going to open up the striking for Islam. So I think you're exactly correct on that. And then also to your question that you just asked, I think if Volk gets subbed ever in the UFC, I think it's going to be against Islam. Exactly what Paul was saying too. Islam's just so strong. I think if he gets it around the neck, kind of like Ortega did, he's going to have a squeeze that I just don't think Volk can get out of. But I've eaten my words before, and I wouldn't be shocked if he does get out of it. But that's just my opinion going into this fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's like one thing. Like people don't like. My thing is this. So I'll put it this way: Islam gets very frustrated. We seen it in the Oliveira fight. He ended up getting that submission, but after he got very frustrated. Mm-hmm. So it's like Volk. Like I'm not taking anything away from Charles. I think Charles is a great fighter, but you get Volk down once, you make him angry. It's going to be very hard to get him in a similar situation again because he's got a ring. Like he remembers like your move. So like Islam is very transparent with some of the stuff that he does. So I think if he tries to repeat takedown attempts certain ways with like let's say he does like a feint and goes, he might get caught by Volk. Like Volk is very good at picking that up. So I think that warrior mentality, it might help Volk. Yeah. I agree with you though. I think if Islam gets him in a choke though, I don't see it getting taken off. But I mean,
unless he gargles.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Like, if he gets him in an armbar, I could see Volkanovski not tapping and saying, yo, you got to break my shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that too.
I can see him breaking his arm and be like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I mean, I think it would be stupid, but hey, I mean, you never know. That adrenaline's going to be real high, So we're talking about submissions while we're on the ground, wrestling-wise. This is a crazy stat, too. I didn't know this at all. I'm not surprised, though. Islam has a 65.9% takedown accuracy. He's 10th ever, which is pretty crazy at that high. It's pretty good. He averages about 3.4 per fight. The only reason that is because he finishes most of his fights. But like I was talking about earlier with Volkanovski, he's a 73% takedown defense, which is very good. The only time he's been taken down is Ortega. That's it. So everybody's going to be giving the edge to Islam on wrestling and submissions. But I think we're not giving Volk enough credit the way that he's able to put himself in positions and get out of. So, like I said before, I'm curious to see how Islam, because he's going to get him in one. Let's just be real. Unless he gets knocked out early, which could happen, he's probably going to get him on the ground and in a submission. How's he going to react if he gets up? You know, that's my question there. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a factor there. So odds for the fight. We didn't even get into the odds for the fight. We usually do that in the beginning. Odds for the fight, I think, are very disrespectful. I get where they're at, but I think they're very disrespectful. We got Islam minus 430. This is the guy, guys. Don't remember. This is the guy who 2 fights ago he was a plus because they didn't know who the hell he was. Retarded. But Islam minus 430. Volk plus 300. By submission, Islam plus 145. Volkanovski plus 2,000. I would love to see that Volkanovski submission. Now that'd be
some shit. That'll make him great right there.
I wouldn't put your pennies on it, but hey,
put $1 on it.
Hey, imagine that. You want to be like, yo, I'm the GOAT. I'm the best in the division. I'm gonna do what you think you're gonna do to me. I'm gonna do it to you. I would never hear any bad bald Volk ever again. He's in my top 10 pound for pound if he does that. So bald Volk, if you're hearing me, we all have $1 on that. So come on. By KO, plus 470 for Islam, plus 950 for Volk. That's where I'd put the money. The Volk 950. Now it might have changed because people are probably looking at it since earlier today, but yeah, by decision, by points, we got Islam plus 280, Volk plus 490. Now the one I like for this fight is the by KO. For the fight to go by KO is plus 300. So I'm thinking someone might get knocked out. So I like that on that fight. The over-under for the fight, they don't have a round, which I found that very weird. They don't have an over-under for the fight. I'm gonna wait to see for fight day. I mean, it is Tuesday here. They might have it tomorrow. But for the fight to go the distance, yes, plus 150, no, 190. So Drew, we already have you. You already came on here and you said you're taking Volk. So what are you taking? Are you taking him by decision? You taking him by sub? Or we're taking it by knockout?
I think it's going to be a late TKO. So I'm going to, especially with that, what did you say, plus 950?
Plus 950.
Yeah, I'm going to take that all day.
That's what I was going to do.
That's the number I thought was disrespectful. I think like,
100%.
Plus 300. I mean, like, come on. Like, even Charles was, yeah, I get he was a champion. You're fighting in Australia. Like, this is homeland. I was thinking more like plus like 190, something around that. But when I was like you, man, when I saw that knockout plus 950, I'm like, man, like we just broke down how this fight could happen. It's like Islam might get knockout. I think that's that's a second possibility of it. I'm with you on that. I got knockout 950. I like the numbers. What do you got here? What do you think's gonna happen?
I'm going with the knockout, bro. That plus 950 is beautiful. I'm taking Volk on it too because I think Volk's going to break him down. Now I'm going to say probably the third round because I think after that second we're going to see a little bit different side of Islam. Maybe a little down because he can't take him down. Maybe a little like frustrated because he's not getting to him. I'm going to go with that third one. I think he's going to go out there and try to do something. If the first 2 rounds don't go as planned, I think he's gonna go out there and try to slug with him and get caught. So that's where I see it. So number 3.
Again, I'm gonna give a little breakdown of how I think the fight's gonna go, and then I'll give my prediction. Then Drew, I want to hear your prediction on how you think the fight's going to go, and we'll get to your outcome.
Deal.
So I think round one's going to be slow. I think the first 2 minutes are going to they might throw some jabs, dance around. Might see a lot of the fake takedown bullshit that we see, which is understandable. Like anybody who's going to watch this fight, and if it does end up like that, like just realize how good these guys are. That you're just trying to wait for somebody to make a wrong step or make a wrong something. I think that might happen. I think it's going to be a good fight, like back and forth, back and forth. I think round one is going to be, no one's going to take down. There going to be a couple kicks, couple heads. Volk takes the round. Volk's going to take round one simply because he's going to be more productive. Round two, I think Islam's going to take him down. I think Islam's going to take him down. He's going to have him on the ground most of the second round. I think he's going to think it's going to tire Volk out. Ain't going to tire Volk out. Volk ain't going to get tired. He's going to get up. And then Islam ain't going to take him back down in the second round. Third round, he going to stuff every takedown. Every takedown Islam does, he going to become too dependent on doing the takedown. Volk ain't going to hit him yet, though. He's going to slightly miss him. Round two goes to Volk. So we got 2-1 Volk. Round four, championship rounds. This is where it gets crucial. I'd be very disappointed if this fight doesn't go to round four, to be honest. I mean, if it doesn't, it means someone got knocked out or submitted. But I want to see championship rounds out of these guys. So round four, I think it's going to be a crucial round. Unfortunately, I think Islam is going to take him down. I don't think Volk's going to get up this time. I'm taking a fourth round submission by Islam at +7.
Okay, very possible.
I'm taking an Islam submission here. As much as it hurts my heart, because I don't want to bet against Volk, which means I'll probably have a side bet on Volk submission. No, I'm having a side bet on a Volkanovski knockout as well, rounds 3, 4, and 5. I'm gonna bet that. He'll probably knock him out in round 2 though. But my official pick is I think Islam by submission. I think that's one. I think the pressure is going to be something that Volkanovski's not really used to.
Yeah,
he's used to people giving him pressure and trying to hit him in the face. I think Islam's going to implement the leg kicks in this fight. I really think he's going to. I think Hasbulla is going to teach him a lot about that. Hasbulla is in his corner this time, so I think he's going to be a perfect, height for them pads for the leg kick. So I think he's going to implement that. I think he's going to throw Volk off a little bit.
Oh, man.
So, Drew, what do you think the fight's going to look like?
All right, so round one, Islam. Well, they're going to feel each other out for a little bit. Islam's going to take him down, and he's going to keep him down the entire round. So first round goes to Islam. Second round, Islam's going to try and take him down again and again and again, and it's not going to happen second round. I think he's going to tire out just a little bit. He's not going to get too tired, but he's going to start to show a little bit that, all right, I can't take this guy down. They're going to stand up, throw some shots, and I think there possibly could be a late takedown for Islam, like a desperation takedown. Round two could be a toss-up. Let's just say Volkanovski takes it on strikes. Round three is where things start to swing. Maybe a takedown, but they can't hold down Volk. Islam can't hold down Volk anymore. He gets back up. He attempts a couple more takedowns. Volk takes round three. Round four, I think once the championship rounds start, I think Islam starts to tire out and Volk starts to get in his stride and starts to get in his groove. I think Volk starts piecing him up and he either TKOs Islam in round 4 or round 5. So that's what I'm going to take.
I like how you pointed out he got tired. So I think what people don't understand here, you don't have to only be physically tired. You can be mentally tired as well.
Yeah. From not getting the takedown. He's going to be mentally drained.
I don't know if you guys remember the Tyron Woodley fight when he fought Damian Maia.
Yeah.
Damian Maia just kept trying to take him down.
Couldn't do it. He got mentally tired.
Tyron Woodley was scared to throw back because he was all he keeps doing, which is rightfully. I could totally see that happening here.
Well, even Khabib, when he fought Al Iaquinta on the short notice fight, he kept taking down Al the whole time. It was ragdolling him pretty much the whole fight. But I think it was midway through the 4th into the 5th round, you could tell Khabib was just tired because he's like, hey, I'm in the championship round. I'm in the last round, and I've taken this dude down so many times without finishing him. You could tell he was starting to get tired. So he started throwing these weird looping shots. Khabib's never been known for his striking, but what made him good at striking though is he was so awkward when he would throw that it was so hard to kind of hit him. He almost looked like a bobblehead when he would go. But Al was actually doing decent in that last round because he was like, you could tell Khabib was just actually starting to get tired.
I was at that fight, and all the Russian people were going crazy in the stands.
That's wild.
It was supposed to be the Ferguson fight, but he got hurt. Conor got crazy. It was still a fun fight. That's still a crazy fight to go to. I remember. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like I said, them Russians they're known to be good, but they don't like Paul. When's the last time we seen a Russian in a 5-round fight? Like they don't usually go there. We seen
they handle the business.
We seen the light heavyweight Ankalaev in the championship rounds. He looked like shit in the championship rounds against Jan. I mean, he's a light heavyweight, but still, like they're not used to going there because they usually manhandle people.
Yeah,
we got two things. We got 1-1 here. Paulie, who we betting on? Who we taking? Who's the game breaker? Come on, man. How's it happening?
All right, so round 1, I do agree with you guys that it's going to go to Islam just because he's going to try to get him down. He might land one. I don't think he keeps him down the whole round, though. I think it's a constant scramble. So they're probably going to give the first round to Islam out of it being active. The second round, he's not going to be so successful. At this point, I think Volk's going to be like, all right, I know your tendencies now. Volk's going to start throwing little shots, being a little patient. Boom, boom, shot, get in and out. I think they're going to give it to Volk. Now, by the third round, I think Islam's going to be frustrated that I can't get him. I can't sit on my game plan. I got to do something different. And I think he might go in there and think, okay, maybe let me try to punch the guy in his fucking face instead of taking him down. So I think he's going to get caught, and it's going to be nasty. It's going to be a straight down the line, little bang, and right into it. And
I just saw it in my head.
Yeah, just like he's
yeah. I mean, like, I want to make sure everybody that's listening knows this is all out of respect you guys are giving to Volk. Like, think about that. Like, he's that good. He's that well trained. He has a great camp. He's smart.
Yeah.
This is no disrespect to Islam saying he's going
to No.
But I love the respect for my man Volk.
He's a beast, man. I didn't believe in him for a while.
Holloway fans love Max. Don't get me wrong. Volk's all right. He's not that good. It took him. He had to beat him 3 times to get respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. I like it because I got a couple other buddies that didn't really like Volk either. And then last fight when he fought the Koreans, they're like, "Oh, he's gonna kill him." I was like, "Oh, now he's good." And I'm like, I mean, I think anybody that goes 3 fights with Max Holloway, you are a smart fighter because Max Holloway is very smart and he gets in your damn head.
He throws a lot of shots. Max just pressures you. If you could take that pressure, he could definitely take Islam's pressure.
I agree.
Like,
and I think,
he could definitely take that.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about, the mentality is Islam going to get frustrated? Like, there's no question in my mind. Like, the pressure that Volk is going to get handed to him from Islam, it's not going to
shake him.
But like you said, I think the big thing, Paul, you said, is that he's going to figure out the game plan.
Yeah.
That's my question about Islam's camp. Do they have a plan B? Or is this going to be plan A? Because if they just wing it and go plan A, let's try and knock him out, that's not going to work because Volk is a efficient striker. He lands at like 67.
And he doesn't stay still. Volk doesn't stay still. That's another thing people have to understand. He's constantly moving in there. He's not going to let you pick your shots. That's why Max had a hard time with him. He couldn't keep him. Like, he couldn't keep him to throw more than three punches at him. Volk's constantly, all right, he's the type of dude. He gets tagged, gets out. So that hurt. Let me get away.
I agree. I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm excited to watch it. We get to watch it before the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Back-to-back days is great. Last of Us is on Friday. UFC is on Saturday. And then Super Bowl's on Sunday. Phenomenal week. But this fight means a lot, too. Charles Oliveira is there. He's the backup guy. So if one of them miss weight, which if anybody's going to miss weight, it'll probably be Islam. We know that. I actually kind of hope he misses weight because I think Charles versus Volk would be
insane.
Like that fight would be insane because of the way they fight. Like, could you imagine Charles trying to let's go? like he could take him down as well, but he would put on a show where Islam's just going to be focused on like, I got to finish it. I don't care about a show. Even though I get like you want to finish the fight, but like man, like, I wanted Oliveira versus Volk to begin with originally. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad if that did happen. But we'll see. But we do have a fight underneath this, which is the
and I love it.
Interim title. Now,
I love
Paul,
this fight.
I know you love this guy, and you disrespected the other guy. You never disrespect bald people.
Listen. It wasn't no disrespect towards Josh Emmett. Don't get me wrong. And I was a little rude about it because I was like, "The fuck is he getting this for?" But
he said, "I sent him this fight," and he goes, "Yeah, you're gonna get a better opponent." I was like, "What?" Like,
I'm serious. I like Josh Emmett, but I just think this fight is a mismatch for him because Yair is a fucking animal.
Absolutely,
it's an animal. He's a fucking. He's gonna walk into every shot that he throws. Like I think Yair is gonna have a field day. Yair showed me a lot in the Max Holloway fight. Like you can't hurt me.
Oh yeah, he's a Mexican warrior. He's like,
so I'm gonna hurt you as you're trying to hurt me, and that's what Yair is. Absolutely. I'm telling you, that's why I said that. Not because Josh Emmett's some bum. He's only had 2 losses.
A lot of people don't really know who Josh Emmett really is anyway, unless
he got a hard right hand. I know that.
They don't. The UFC don't give him respect either.
Nah, they don't.
Give, like good slots to fight on. But we got Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. I love both these guys. I think they're both warriors. They're great fight. Now this line, I think that the main event should be this line. We got Yair's minus 165 and Emmett is plus 140. I think that should have been the main event fight, but hey, I'm with it. I'm with this. Yeah. So in the last 5, Yair is 3-1-1. He beat Ortega. He beat
the shit out.
He beat Grand Zombie. He lost to Max. He lost to Frankie. But he did knock out one of the GOATs, BJ Penn. He knocked his ass out. He sent him into retirement.
Be Alex Crosses too.
I had to get that in there.
He did beat Dan Hooker too.
He did. He's 9-2-1 in the UFC. On the other side, we got Josh Emmett. He's a decision fighter. We got last 5 decision versus Qatar, which was split. A lot of people thought I thought he won the fight.
Yeah.
Out of decision versus Dan Inge. Decision versus Burgos. He knocked out Michael Johnson. His last loss, he got knocked out by Stevens. He's 9-2 in the UFC as well. So, Drew, who you got for this fight, man? This is a big fight.
So, the 2 dark horses for a while now, I thought for this division were going to be Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett. And they didn't just fight, but they fought semi-recently, like Bobby just said. I actually had Calvin Kattar winning that fight. I thought –
me too.
It wasn't a robbery, but I thought that Kattar won. But I actually do really like Josh Emmett, though, too. I started watching him when he absolutely starched what's his name? I forget his name. But it was like one of his first fights in the UFC. If you go down his fight, Ricardo Lamas.
Oh, yeah, he did beat the shit out of Ricardo Lamas.
And right after he did that, I was like, this dude's for real. So he's got a nuke for a right hand, like Paul was saying. This fight is such a toss-up to me because Yair has so many ways to KO Emmett. But at the same time, Emmett, if he touches you with that right hand, you're going to go to sleep. But Yair, like you guys said, he's a dog. Like, I don't think he's ever even – out of all the fights I can think of, I've never really seen him, like, wobbled, actually. I've seen him get hit with shots. The Frankie one, I thought he just got taken down a lot in that one. But that was so long ago, I kind of forget. But
he got knocked out in that fight, but that was the doctor's stuff.
Oh, yeah. Was it ground and pound TKO?
Yeah, ground and pound, yeah. He cracked them and boom.
But at the same time, I got to give him credit because remember, like, he was, like, on and off relationship with, like, the UFC at the time. Like,
He
had like 2 cancellations on a fight, and then it was Frankie opt-in. I remember that fight.
Yeah, he didn't want to fight Zabit, so they kicked him out of the UFC.
Another wild Russian who retired.
Yeah. But yeah, Paul, thank you. I think you're right. I think he, it was ground and pound TKO. So I think he did get tagged, but it's been a long time since then. But yeah, it's such a toss-up for me. I really, honestly don't know. I think it's just, I don't know. This one's a toss-up. I really can't. If I were to put money on it, I mean, I would put it on Emmett since he's the underdog. But my brain says Yair, though. I think it's Yair's time. It's been a while in the making that he's going to fight for a title shot. So I think it's his time. And I think Emmett. I mean, I think Emmett is a little bit older. I think he's in his 30s, not just because he's bald.
It's old. I mean, he's been around a while, man. Like he fought.
Yeah, he's been around for a bit now, and he came in late though too, because I knew he fought in other.
He's a lot of other stuff. He's 18-2, but his record, he should have like 30 more fights because he did a lot of different. He came in late.
Yeah, but I still think he's got a little bit of longevity in his career though too, so I could see him bouncing back. But I think it is Yair's time. If I was to actually pick who to win, I think it's gonna be Yair.
Yeah, so they don't have odds on knockouts, KOs, or anything like that, which is very weird. Like I can get odds on the UFC John Jones fight for knockout decision. Yeah, you get the co-main event on Saturday. Like, what are you doing, UFC?
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh man, it's weird. They have the over in the rounds though. They didn't have it in the other one. 4.5. No, -195. I like that. So I'm always rooting for the bald guys. Especially bald guys that are 5'6" with 70-inch reaches. We got 2 of them on this card. Paul, what's your take on this? I know you love Yair. Yo, bald Volk, baby. Bald and a beard. Emmett don't have a beard though. So I mean,
Emmett don't have a beard. He does not have a beard. So
that's a big difference. Like you're supposed to have a beard when you're bald.
That's true. It makes white guys look better.
It does. It's line, though.
Don't have a beard.
Yeah.
Like there's not many. Like Stone Cold, my man. Like he rocks it. He had a beard when he did WWE. When he does his movies, he's still a stud. Vin Diesel, I mean, he's
The Rock.
The Rock, he's like he needs to get his beard back. He's starting to look old, so he needs to get his beard back.
The Rock.
Yeah, he's starting.
If you're that jacked, though, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I know.
His face does look broken though. Like it is weird looking.
Yeah, he's getting a little old. He needs to get the goatee back.
The mouth looks like it's shrinking.
Yeah, he is 50. Let him go, man. But Paul, what do you think for the fight? I know your guy is Yair. You always love Yair.
I'm going with Yair, of course. I think this is going to be a brawl. I'm going with a 5-round decision. Is it a 5-round fight? Yeah, it's a 5-round fight.
5 rounds, yep.
Yep, because it's for a title. I'm going to go with Yair. He's going to slug him out. Yair is not known for really stopping people, even though he did just stop Ortega. So I think he's just going to grind him out, and he's going to show him, like, yes, this is my time, like you guys are saying. I think Yair is going to win it by a 5-round decision.
We got 2-0 Yair. All right. So
he's gonna go with Emmett.
Nah, I didn't think yet, man. Like,
he's gonna go Emmett. He's gonna feel like he's going against somebody who's bald.
Yeah.
Hey, my fault when a fucking bird lands on you, they fucking slip and break their head. It's my fault.
Nah, so I remember like this.
You gotta shine that fucking thing.
But I think this fight's very interesting because you got 2 guys that like to throw.
Yes.
The difference is we know how Emmett throws. We have no idea how Yair's going to throw. Yair might be one of them hand plant, kick you in the face type of throw. That's not some of the stuff he does. They're both relatively the same at strikes landed per minute at like 4.5, 4.6. They both absorb the same at 4.2. The difference here, I think, would be this: if Emmett is smart, he goes for a takedown. If he's smart, he goes for a takedown. He's very good at takedowns, actually. He's 40%. Very good. Now he's really not good, but he doesn't try it a lot. But at the same time, like a lot of people don't try to take down Yair. So I'm curious to see if that's in the game plan. We talked about it as a 5-round fight. They've both been in 5-round fights. Yair is 1-1. He lost his son. Beat son. Beat son, KO'd him, and then he lost to Max by decision. So he didn't get finished. Out of his career, 15-3, 2 losses are by knockout. So he does have that was earlier in his career. I get like Frankie got him, but that was earlier in his career. He wasn't like kind of flipped back. He's kind of a different fighter now. He's smarter. But my man, my bald Emmett, he's 3-0 in 5-round fights with 2 knockouts. I mean, I like it. Both these guys
they went against Yair.
They got 11 knockout combined. Now my heart tells me, yo, don't go against the bald guy. Like every time you bet Emmett, he wins.
Yo,
seriously, every time it's like, remember when Jan was coming up through and everybody always bet against him, and then he won. And then once everybody started betting him, He lost. That's just what happened. I think that's happening for Yair right now. Everybody was betting against him because he lost to Frankie. He had that Ortega, he had that Max Holloway fight. Everybody thought he's going to get knocked out. He lost. I get it. The Ortega fight. I want to bring that up. I think he would have won that fight. I think he was starting early. We had a crazy takedown. He got taken down, and Ortega popped his shoulder out. I don't think Ortega was going to do anything to him on the ground there. His legs are so long. So I think it takes the takeout away from Emmett. I'm actually with you guys on this fight. I think Yair is going to win this. I think Emmett has reached his peak.
Yeah.
He reached his peak. I think he's too into he's what you talk about Volk. Volk is like, I gotta work, I gotta get better. Emmett's like, I'm the best. I'm the man. I don't like that. I think he's gonna be too open against Yair. Yair gonna kick him right in the fucking face. He gonna knock him. It ain't making the championship rounds. I got Yair knockout round 3. That's my pick. I think it's going to be a vicious KO. I think, like you said, it's Yair's time. Yeah. I want to see it too because I want to see Volk fight a guy like Yair.
I was just about to ask you about that. I was be like, so if Yair wins, Volk wins. Does Volk come down and defend that title, or you just say, "Fuck it, I'm going to 155 and staying here"?
I mean, me personally, what I would do, I think he should go down. Go back down. I think he should make a weight class below him. So I think he goes back down, fights it. I don't know though. Which one's gonna make more money, Yair or Charles? You gonna fight Charles?
Charles, dude, all day.
So I mean, I don't know, but I'm glad we're all in agreement here that we got Yair. I like that. I mean, I think it's gonna be a better fight than we think, though. There's a lot of.
I think it's gonna be a slow test.
Yeah, I think they're probably like the only 2 fights that I actually want to watch on the card.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to have Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa, but they got canceled. Whittaker on this one. I think that would have been a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm disappointed that's not on this card.
Yeah, we got. I'd love to see Bobby Knuckles knock him out. Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't want to sign it. I don't think he wants to get knocked out for his final UFC fight.
Yeah.
Paulo looks like he should be on a soap opera, not a fighter. Yeah, Paulo looks like he sips martinis after his training session.
He's gonna be on Love Island soon.
Love Island, yeah.
Yo, I remember when
he's on a novella. He's on a soap opera, novella.
When he was coming up, though, I was like, man, this dude's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
it was roaring up.
Talk about having a weak mentality, though. He's at the top of the list.
Yeah, I agree.
He was Ricky Martin. He was Ricky Martin on steroids.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
I mean, he
Paulo was softer than a marshmallow. I can go on and on. Don't just stop me. I can go on and on.
He did just post a picture on his Twitter. He posted Dana White with Rose. It was I think Rose Namajunas. He altered it though. I think he's trying to get out of his contract.
His Twitter is hilarious.
It is. He comes at everybody.
It's so funny.
He comes at everybody.
Yeah, he's funny though. But I'm very mad he's not in this fight. I don't understand why. Like, first of all, like the UFC already knew he wasn't going to fight in the fight, so why would they like wait that long? So Whittaker was in training. Whittaker's like basically ready. Why would you didn't have another opponent for him ready? Like, yo, let's. I mean. Maybe they thought Whittaker was going to be like, yo, you're probably going to get a last-minute injury anyway. That's what always happens in Australia. So, I mean, I don't know if that played into it. But it sucks that Whittaker's not on this card.
Yeah.
But you guys got any other thoughts on this fight card that you're looking forward to?
Nah, not really. I was looking at it today. And I was just like, nothing really. Nobody here I'm really on.
Yeah, I mean, there's really it's all Australians. Last fight card, it was all Asian fighters, which I didn't know half of the guys on the card. But it was an entertaining fight card. I'll say that. Did you watch it, Drew?
Yeah, I try to watch every single one. And it was hilarious too because I was hitting on parlays on people I had no clue who they were too. Because it was I didn't even know it was a road to the UFC or whatever. But I was strictly just picking off of obviously I was looking at favorites and stuff like that too. But I was just looking at guys. I was like, I think this guy's gonna win. He looks meaner than the other guy, whatever. If I end up hitting a three parlay, and then the one I hit to to help me though was the one underdog, the first Indian guy who got into the UFC. I picked him. I was like, he looks like he's gonna actually win, and sure enough, he won. So I was like, wow, that was just like just picking blind there. But those were fun though. I mean, it was a fun card.
For you, it was on normal time. Over here in PA, it was like 1 o'clock. I was like,
Yeah.
Crazy. So I still fell asleep though at the co-main when I saw they started wrestling. I was like, I'm out. I gotta go to bed. It was like 12:30 here, so it was like 2:30 your time, I think.
Yeah, it was.
I will say about this card, I think the first.
I was just walking in. I think
there might be some knockouts. Like there might be a couple knockouts on this fight card that'll keep us awake because you never know. Like a lot of times, like these pay-per-views, like first fight's good, second fight's everybody falls asleep because it's terrible. So hopefully we don't get that again. You know,
that's what I like though. Just real quick, looking at this card, I agree with you guys. We're like, I was super excited for this card, but then looking at it, like, there's some guys I like, but it doesn't get me like as excited as I thought I was going to be. Just looking at the names, but Jack Della Maddalena.
I was trying to say his name too. Don't worry.
Yeah, versus Randy Brown is going to be a fun one. So that's one to really look at. The heavyweights, Parker Porter don't really do nothing for me. Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menfield. Someone might get knocked out in that fight. And then Melsik Badarian or whatever his name is against Josh Calabao. The Melsik guy is a guy to look for. He's a beast. And then that's about it, honestly. The rest are just like kind of filler fights. But you never know. Those are some of the best cards sometimes.
Yeah, there's the ones you see. You see no names that are hungry.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm hoping it's like that. I want to stay awake and watch my stream play.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the UFC pay-per-view now? $90 or something?
Yeah, I'll be buying it.
Yeah, my Fire Stick will be on it.
Oh man! Oh, they're gonna cancel us. They're gonna cancel us. I swear to God, they're gonna cancel. We're gonna get off the joint. We're gonna get off this shit. It's gonna be like bloop, no more.
Yeah, all your Facebook's gonna be gone.
We'll be gone. You just had to mention the fucking Fire Stick, Bobby, huh?
Hey man, Amazon ain't gonna cut me off.
Yeah,
nah, man, we need that guy. But yeah, Drew, as always, thanks for coming on, talking UFC. Love to do it. Paul, you already know.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for these two fights, mainly Paul and Volk. I hope you guys are right. I'd love to hear and new. I'd like to hear it because I think he'll actually defend both belts. So
yeah,
he'll be a real true champion. Wins, unlike Connor. But hey, actually, we have Connor back. Let's talk about that a little bit. Connor is back. He's fighting Chandler for the Ultimate Fighter. You guys actually going to tune in for that? I might tune in.
I think it might be I think this Ultimate Fighter might actually be funny as shit. Just because Chandler is so like duh.
Yeah.
Like duh when he talks. And McGregor's gonna be saying something. He's gonna be like, fuck you too. Like basically.
Is McGregor going to be drunk on a couple of episodes?
He is carrying around. He is definitely carrying around that Irish whiskey.
I mean, the crazy thing is, like, he's not in the USADA pool yet. So, like, you have to be in the USADA pool for 6 months. So this fight can't even happen until August.
Yep.
It's like, all right, I'm assuming it's going to be like
the summer play.
Probably going to be like the final card of the year. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because he was doing Roadhouse, so he's probably all juiced up for that.
Roadhouse.
I'm here for it. We know Chandler. Right? Look at him. I mean, entertainment.
Do you think he's going to do the throat thing?
No, he might. Maybe.
Chandler is like my size, right? He's probably like 5'6" on a good day. Yeah, I know. So you think Chandler tries to get in his face? He's going to do the little throat thing from Roadhouse?
Probably. I mean, it'd be a bad idea. Like if Chandler tries to stand up with Connor coming back, that's just never a good idea. But I don't. Who knows? We'll see. But other than that, we'll talk to you guys after the fight. Good luck on your parlays, Drew.
Thank you.
We got LeBron on in the next couple hours, so
hopefully
let's hope I can stay up for that.
You better break the record on dunk. People got a lot of
listen. If I'm staying up to watch this shit, it's 10 o'clock, right? He better score 38 points. I swear to God, I'll never watch another basketball game again.
I mean,
you're gonna get 34.
And I swear to God, I'm canceling cable.
People are spending like $70,000 for a ticket. His over
74. Get fucked up. 74.
We already know he's going to get 28, and then he's going to break the record on Thursday against Kareem's old team. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's a good conspiracy.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why this game is a 10 o'clock game. They want Bron to have it.
He better get it tonight. They need to get it.
He better get it.
We'll start like.
I'll never watch another Lakers game a day in my life, and he doesn't.
Thursday's a great deadline. They play Milwaukee. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if LeBron wants to be, he don't need to be talked about more, but I just feel like that'd be, I don't know. Just saying.
So be prepared for a lot of Jordan talk too, like, oh well, woo, he got 6 rings. Yeah, he's a defense player and MVP. Yeah, same year he got knocked out the playoffs in the first round.
Record is pretty phenomenal. I mean, I don't care if it's LeBron or not. Like Drew, I brought this up earlier. You're a hockey guy, like Ovechkin. He's gonna stay around to break the goals record. Like no one's considering him better than Gretzky, but like him breaking that goals record, that's like right. That's like impressive. That's one of the best like achievements you could have. So it's like,
yeah, it's huge. But the craziest stat, I think Matt posted it in the group before. But what makes Gretzky unbelievable is he's got more assists than the next person has points. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have to score another goal. He didn't have to score another goal. All his assists is still like Gretzky's just the GOAT, dude. I can't even. I talk about him. I'm just like, dude. There's a stat I find out about him every fucking day, and he's. Yeah. I don't think there's a clear GOAT in any sport but hockey. So
yeah,
I mean, John Jones in UFC, no argument.
Yeah, you can say that too.
No, you're right. But no, I was just making a point of how it's like those records, like they don't have to be about being the GOAT. It's just a record. Like it's impressive. It's. I mean, I remember when Barry Bonds was breaking the home run record. It was on everywhere. Like I love it. It was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. So I think it's getting a little downplayed because people don't like LeBron, but impressive feat. I'm curious. I'm actually curious to see how much further he goes above him.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see. But anyway, UFC Saturday. Go Bald Volk.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.
See y'all later, man. See y'all later.